Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about routers. They're an important part of timber framing. We use them all the time, different applications. So we're going to go over a little bit about what routers we use and what their uses are. So pretty much we start with these big guys here. These are our bigger routers. These are meant for doing bigger pockets and just more horsepower. These are our big guns, and we have plates on these, so we're able to do pockets basically. So we're able to hit a pocket and not fall off the side. So this base plate, for example, is 20 inch by 20 inch. So this usually gives us enough coverage if we're doing a 10 to 12 inch pocket. You can always put it on the corner a little bit, so you're able to have that. And again, it gives you a bigger surface to ride on, and so you're not, so it's more stable, and you're not, basically falling in the pocket, which you do with conventional. So typically when routers come, they don't come with these base plates, obviously. They just come with a little plate around here, which is a little polycarbonate kind of plate. And so we remove that plate and do a Forstner hole just about the size of the diameter in here, and then from there we were able to then find the existing locations for threaded threaded applications, so we can actually fasten our base on. The material we use for this particular base is Lexan. Lexan is not cheap, it's pretty expensive. This piece here costs about $35–40. And we went, I believe, 3/8 thick on this. Yeah, so it's 3/8 thick. And you want it pretty thick just so it's stable and it holds really well. So pretty much that's our go-to router. Our other one here is pretty much the same. However, this one has a outlet basically for suctions for a hose. So whenever we're doing pockets that are concealed in the timber that don't have an exit like this one does, right? So we tend to put a hose onto here and use a vacuum, so it sucks up all the dust and we're able to see what we're doing. So we have one router designated for this application, and then the other router designated for the other applications. So these are our two big guns. These are the ones we use for more of the heavy router usage, and when we're using bigger pockets. So the next size down from that is this guy here. This is a smaller horsepower. It's a 1 3/4 horsepower. And again, it's got a small plate on here. It's not too big of a plate. It's used for more or less little applications, smaller pockets, less depth pockets, and then also edge routing as well. This one's got a bottom bearing on it, so we're able to go across here and take off some corners that we sometimes develop when we're doing some joinery. Next to this is our trim router. And pretty much this is the small little trim router that we use. Pretty much what we use this for is just edging, small chamfers and so forth, just taking the edge off, and then doing little wee pockets, more detailed work if we need to do it. Again, we actually just put a little plate, Lexan plate on here just because it slides a little better and so forth. So that's pretty much it for the routers, but I'd like to show you the bits we use because that's a really important component to running these routers. So come on over here to our bits. So this is our drawer designated to router bits. This is where we keep all our different size bits and so forth. So this is kind of some of our big guns here. That's a big guy there. What's our standard router bit is this guy here. It's got a top bearing here for guide, a guide bearing, and we also use reusable carbide bits replaceable carbide bits that you can change out, turn over, and that way you're constantly keeping real sharp sharp equipment all the time. It is a little bit more expensive to have this bit and to be changing these constantly, but it's either have that procedure or you just get yours sharpened all the time. Yeah, there's top bearing bits, and then there's bottom bearing bits, which was on our other router over there. I don't think we have any over here. And then these are some of our smaller detailed bits that we use for quarter rounds, half rounds, and just putting little radiuses on the edges of timber. Chamfer bits that are more 45-degree angle, like that guy there. Small little eighth rounds like that. So we kind of have a selection here for doing different types of details on the edges of timbers and so forth, and projects we're working on. So we do use jigs here. We don't use them all the time, but there is a time and a place to use jigs. So these are just kind of simple router jigs that we use. The materials we use for our jigs are a certain special type of polycarbonate. I can get into more detail of that later with our courses. However, yeah, we do use jigs for certain applications. And we do have quite a few different types of jigs. But anyhow, that kind of sums up our router situation. We will get more detail on applications and how to use each router when we start getting into our courses a little bit here. But this gives you a bit of an overview on our routers and the sizes of routers we use. So I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you.